Welcome to Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, where we bring you news, notes, and more to help you win your championship fantasy football league. Stay tuned and listen in for the great information we have for you today.
And hello, welcome to another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast. And yes, I am here. I am aware.
He's present.
Yes, but my name is Scott, and to my right I have
Billy Bob Thornton! No, I'm just kidding. My name's Corn Dog Corey, a.k.a.
Corn Dog,
a.k.a. Snaggletooth, a.k.a. We're switching this off to this guy right here.
Cool. It's Jared. Keep it simple. So we changed the camera view a little bit, brought the webcam down so as you guys can see it's a little more close and personal now.
See how model-esque we are.
Right, exactly. How studly we are. Check out these guns.
okay, you know what?
Check out these guns! Yeah!
That's more like it.
That
Noodles.
hurt a little.
I love noodles.
I love noodles too.
Oh, good.
But we are here, today we are talking about the recaps on all the games that happened over the weekend for week 7.
Some pretty crazy things have happened this
Yeah,
week. Some
and-
high-scoring fantasy players.
And a little news, a note here. Sooner or later, we're going to have our segments down. We're going to have them back in order. We're going to try to get back to our regular schedule.
Right.
2 to 3 podcasts a week. We're going to sit there and talk with each other afterwards to figure out what we can do, segments, what days we can do that work best, and then be able to give you guys a regular schedule podcast.
Love it.
Getting them edited, all that stuff.
Yep.
Getting them posted on to like our social medias, things like that, at a more regular pace.
Yep.
Correct.
Making sure everything's going smoothly. We're gonna have more organized stuff. Organized individuals. Things are gonna be
Gotta
nice.
do the adult things to get organized up in here.
So let's kick this snuff off, y'all, with a Thursday night football game.
Yeah,
that
we'll
was
talk about
pretty frigging intense, especially at the
Telling me.
last few moments.
Well, I never knew we would do this. This is awesome. This is a feature?
Yeah, I know.
I don't remember doing that. That's the greatest thing I've ever
That's
seen.
legit, dude.
That is legit. I like that.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh, we just found something on air right here that makes it easier for
So
us.
anybody that doesn't use fantasypros.com,
Dude.
use fantasypros.com.
Very
I'll do the
much.
free advertisement for you guys this one, but you guys owe us next time. So
Next time Fantasy Pros you owe us $450,000. I'm just kidding.
That's the low end.
Yeah, I was like, we're lowballing ourselves.
Yeah.
Really.
Right. So let's talk. Now,
Yes.
we'll do the Chiefs side of things. Since they took that loss, we'll bring up what they gotta do.
Whew.
Or who are their players.
You got that man Alex Smith doing his thing. He's like what? The manager, the game manager,
Yeah.
Alex Smith of last year and years prior.
Still to this day has not thrown an interception.
Still going off. I mean, he plays Denver this week. I think that's when he has his first pick. But I know their defense is phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, but if their offense isn't doing what they're doing like they did,
Yeah, then
against
they're
the
just gonna
Chargers,
run the whole time. The Chiefs are.
then the defense was going to wear out. So.
I think with Emmanuel Sanders coming back. But anyway, Alex Smith had 25.7 in
That's PPR scoring is what we're doing
PPR
now.
scoring, but
Scoring.
I know. But he had it because I mean in our league he had 34. It's because we do 20 yards is
We do 20 yards
and 6 points for a
But
touchdown.
yeah, so
But-
we'll give you the scoring based on
Theirs.
yeah.
So 26 points for him, which is pretty good, especially
Very
quarterback
good.
wise. Then you got Kareem Hunt doing his thing like always, 15 points, basically 16 points because it's 15.7. But he's a baller. Start him every week, and if you don't, I think you should just cut him and give him to me.
or just retire from fantasy football in general.
Truth.
Word.
But so Alex Smith went for 25 for 36. He threw for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns.
3 tubs.
So
One
I'd
of them
say
was dirty because it was a tip, and then the dude
Yeah,
got it.
super lucky
Wow.
for
So
for Albert Wilson. So anybody who's thinking about getting him, who sees the box score,
Don't.
that was lucky. If you see the 1 for 63 on there, that was the luckiest thing you could have ever seen. I mean, he was open, and he did get open on the play, but Alex Smith did not send it far enough, so I got lucky.
He did.
But, so anybody who's a Tyreek Hill owner, though,
Super
you're
stoked.
happy. 6 for 125 at a touch, 25.2 PPR points.
Surprisingly, wasn't the highest scoring receiver in
He
that
was not.
entire game.
Nope, and we'll get to that.
Yes, we will. I just wanted to get a little drama.
You just killed whatever drama was there.
Hey, drama got even more dramatic with how sassy I got.
And Travis Kelce, 4 receptions for 33 yards and a touch.
And he got that touchdown very early,
Yeah.
and that made everyone think,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's gonna be a good game for him." I mean, it's not a
Quieted
terrible
out,
game.
but it's good. Better than most tight ends do. So
Exactly.
it's solid. And then Kareem Hunt, he didn't get in the end zone again, but 87 rush yards and 4 targets, 4 receptions, and 30 yards. So
Yeah,
you're not mad about that.
Not all of that. It's going to be bad
So
if you don't get a touchdown. But
And then if you got Harrison Butker, their kicker, I know kickers are people too, and they play fantasy.
Yep, 14
You
points.
can win and lose with kickers. If you had Matt Bryan, you might have lost your league because you had -4 points from him for Atlanta. But anyway,
or Phil Dawson.
Philly Dawes.
And someone you can look for, and they were kind of hyping him up during the game, is DeMarcus Robinson. If you're in a deeper league, 12, 14, 16 teams. I mean, he went 8 targets, 5 receptions, 69 yards. And they were having high praise for him. So, someone you can also look out for. Someone who was actually involved, unlike Albert Wilson.
Yes.
So, let's go down to the Raiders side. Scott, tell me something about. Let's start with Derek Carr. We'll save the best for last. Let's tell me about Derek Carr first.
The first off, the 4-game losing streak is over. So good about that. But Derek Carr is a definition of baller. Your favorite word, baller.
Baller.
He is a definition of baller.
He's a baller.
But he only went 29 for 52 attempts. But he threw for 417 yards for 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And that last touchdown of the 3 he got, oh man. Had to come off of 3 penalties at the end. It was
5 penalties total.
That's insane.
It was
5
ridiculous.
penalties.
My heart was racing, dude.
I was
like, I just don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. And
Crabtree was the hero not once but twice.
You know what the cool part about
Yep.
that though was if you watch that play again, Amari Cooper had nobody on him, and if he got mad,
I saw that.
I was like, let's go.
I saw that.
But at the end of the day, they were gonna win either way, so that's
they were
good.
determined. That's
So-
right.
If you are a Derek Carr owner,
Fire
It's a
him
good
up.
sign.
I know he had 8 points 2 weeks
Plays
ago.
Buffalo next week though. They're a tough pass defense, but James
I
Winston came back on him. So
Exactly.
yep. So
I would still
fire
start
up.
him. I would still start him because after this win and after what he did to the Chiefs to give them their second loss,
They're 3-4. He's not gonna want to go 3-5.
no, he's done losing.
You look
Nope,
healthy.
that's good.
Gosh, I mean this is just
Tell me about the running backs now, Scott.
running backs. Oh jeez.
Tell me what happened to Marshawn, and should people be worried? No, they shouldn't be worried.
They
I'll
shouldn't.
answer that for you.
But they should just be mad at him though
Yeah,
for choosing somebody else.
This is the
over
first
him.
year he's back. They're not going to use him as much as they're usually going to.
and he's emotionally high being in Oakland, his hometown.
Yes.
Mhm.
That cheap shot, yes, he did what he did, and
Mhm.
I'm happy that he ran out there. But
Don't grab a ref, bro.
Are you
Yeah.
happy that he chose to protect the other team, and not his own teammates?
I don't know what you saw, but I saw.
I know exactly what I saw
Jan.
and what he said.
You saw what he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you even see why are you protecting a dude that just went against your own teammate? Wouldn't you want your running back? I don't
He
care.
ran out there on.
Yeah, to get Marcus Peters' back.
No.
He said, "Calm down, brother." He literally said that. You can hear it. It's like, okay, why are you? I'm just saying.
I mean, this doesn't sound as bad as it is, but
I know, but you're going to get the other team's back. The dude who just hit your quarterback from behind
I don't
late.
know. I mean, he was heated. He was trying to get after them. That's why he pushed the ref out of the way.
he was definitely mad. And he definitely
Yeah.
aimed it at the ref too. So
So
But
But our highest.
DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard.
They both had 9 attempts. One had 33, which is Washington had 33 yards, and Richard only got 31. But Washington got a touchdown, and Derek Carr was your third rushing for one attempt for 15 yards. Yeah, so
tell me about Crabtree and his opportunities that he had, the multiple opportunities to win the game.
That
is it gonna be the Amari show, or is it still Crabtree gonna be very involved?
Oh, definitely Crabtree's still gonna be involved. Are you kidding me? Crabtree is he's the veteran, so he's gonna still kind of show the ropes to Cooper and be like, hey, you need to we got
so
this.
You're not worried about 19 targets compared to 7 targets?
Nope, not worried whatsoever. Not worried whatsoever. Because Crabtree can still ball out the way he has, and he continuously will.
Cooper's still good.
He did ball out. He got the game-winning touchdown not once but twice.
Yeah.
So
the first one he pushed him though.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but there was a slip.
Yeah, he definitely had a little slip.
I know, that's the point.
Yeah.
He sold it.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, LeBron James.
Yeah, that's terrible by the refs, but they made multiple makeup calls to make sure that they got the win, so they really messed up.
Amari Cooper.
Hold on, I'm gonna go to Jared Cook, bro. Cook, you gotta save the best for last, brother.
Jared Cook, is this a real thing? Can you trust him continuously?
Yes.
With a healthy Derek Carr, yeah.
Yes. Because Derek Carr does go to his tight ends. He does definitely throw to his tight ends.
All he needed to do was reach his arm out for the touchdown.
I know.
He would have had 23.
I honestly think that Jared Cook still had that touchdown.
No, his butt was on the ground. I think you should touch them with your hand though, and not your foot for it to be down. But the rule is
that's been a monthly. That'll be probably reviewed at the end of the year. But Jared Cook, I also
shouldn't be able to.
Thing. He's getting 7 targets a game, so
Right.
Yeah.
And at least short end tight ends definitely give them a
tight end 2 at least, maybe a tight end 1 on certain days. This week especially because there's 6 teams on bye this week, so I mean.
This is one of the biggest bye weeks.
Yep. So, and then now let's go to the best.
The man who I said, this is the last chance I give you, Amari. It's the last chance, and I'm putting you on a bench if you don't.
Boy, were we stoked.
Dude.
Boy, were we stoked. Amari Cooper, 11 receptions for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns.
One was a PI, but I don't care. It was a touchdown.
Still call it a touchdown.
I'm fine with that. I'm not going to.
We're still good with that. Because 44 fantasy points.
I was worried when I saw that. I was
just makes you feel great.
44.
Yeah. So,
he doubled. He scored more points in that one game than he did all year.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
He went from wide receiver 80 to wide receiver 15 in one game. It's redonkulous.
Impressive. I did not know that. That's impressive.
Yeah, there was
good for you, Amari.
I don't know back. I know it's wide receiver 15 now, but it was 80 something. I remember that.
Wide receiver 15 is a top a wide receiver 2. That's perfect.
Yeah. And
don't discount wide receiver 2. That's big.
I just want to also say Bowman.
LeVar Bowman looked good, dude.
He got 11 tackles that game.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, bro, I told you.
The 49ers know how to get rid of good players.
I told you.
Right.
Because Crabtree goes to the Raiders, and look what's happening. Now you get Bowman, and look what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just off of one game.
Yeah.
So things are looking up, even though our corners need to be a little better.
Maybe Blaine Gabbert will be good for the Cardinals if they ever give him a chance.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Speaking of terrible quarterbacks,
let's go. We'll move on to the next game. We're going to go through these a little more rapid fire now. So
yeah, when we get to teams we love, we kind of elaborate a little too much.
Yeah.
But you can't blame us. This one you got the Jacksonville Jaguars and Indianapolis Colts.
Blake Bortles
one-sided.
We'll start with Jacksonville. Blake Bortles, 16 points, 330 yards and 1 TD. Fumble, but compared to his normal turnovers, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad at all. We'll take that from Blake Bortles. So I mean, he's basically QB2 at this rate. So whatever. Don't count on him every week, but if you're desperate, play him.
Definitely don't count on this other guy.
TJ Yeldon, 122 rush yards, 1 rush TD, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 15 yards. Definitely counted that. It was a couple of them came on some big sprints and then clock killer time. So, and also Leonard Fournette's out.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're
So,
on
bye week.
So,
Because I have to face
don't worry
you.
about that.
If you had Leonard Fournette in, I would have been like, I lost.
Yeah, they top Chris Ivory's the one to own, but it could be either way. I mean, I don't really know if Chris Ivory's really that much separated from T.J. Yeldon. So
T.J. Yeldon's probably
Yeah.
just a younger one and faster one than Chris Ivory. So.
Alan Hearns showed up. You feel happy about that? 8 targets, 5 receptions, 101. So 15 fantasy points.
I still think Marquise Lee is the guy to get, though. I feel like, I know he had a little bit less of a production, but he had 4 catches, 72 yards. He also had a touchdown that they called back. I think that he's the guy to go for. But Alan Hearns is still a good.
He has shown production though even before Marquise Lee, and they were all drafted at the same time. So it's like
Marquise Lee
they're
has
close.
the talent level of. It's the one problem I have is he played at USC, and most people that play at USC aren't that good in the NFL.
They don't make it.
I don't know
They
what it
figure
is
out.
about that whole system.
They don't
cheat.
figure it out.
It's karma.
They cheat.
Another name that you don't want to go up for and be happy about is Mercedes Lewis, who has the most
The roller coaster.
Predictable.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
This game was a drag, and for the Colts, you have, oh my gosh, what a drag. So, tell me something.
Marlon Mack, 26 rushing yards, but he's more of the passing down running back now. 4 catches, 40 yards, but he has 6 targets, 10.6 PPR points. Wouldn't get too down on his game, but I wouldn't also get too upbeat because he got a lot of that
out-carry
garbage time.
or out-snap Frank Gore though. So.
But that was when they were losing by a lot, so they said don't worry too much about that. But I still think at the end of the year he has more.
But if they're losing constantly,
which they will be,
yeah,
because
so
that defense
then you
is
may need to
terrible.
worry about it a little bit.
They have no receivers
Except for
other
Jack
than
Doyle.
T.Y. Hilton.
Jack Doyle is 6 for 44.
Yeah, I see that.
He is a streamer. He does look for Jack Doyle. So
He does.
and if you have Dante Moncrief, you just drop him.
Yeah,
I'm
Moncrief
sorry,
had
I have
one
no
good
faith in
game.
Moncrief whatsoever.
It was terrible. Switching off from that game.
Moving on.
Tampa
Speed
Bay
caps.
versus Buffalo, which was a really
Not bad.
actually pretty good game. This is a good game. The first bad game for Doug Martin, which is good. Get that out of the way. He had 10 points. He had 20 roll over. He had 20 something carries for like 40 yards.
Yeah, 20-49.
20 for 49.
Mm-hmm.
But he had 2 catches, 10 yards, 5,000 yards, 643 points. No, I'm just kidding. He still out-touched Charles Sims and Jaquiz Rogers, but there was a point in the second quarter where Charles Sims had like the entire thing. I'm like, yo, give my boy Dougie the ball.
You're getting kind of salty.
I was super salty. And then when they did give it to him, I got mad because they were like, stacked the box, and I was like, bro, you know it's gonna be that. But on the bright side, Mike Evans balling like always, per usual. He had 21.8 points. Yup. He looked really good. He was getting some slants, stuff like that. He had 7 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. 10 targets. Is continuously the target leader. Number 2 on there, Cameron Brate. To be completely real with y'all, do not get so hype on O.J. Howard. He does have the talent, but that was more of a fluke game because
one was wide open. He was chilling
nobody
there.
even
Yep.
touched. Like no one was there. It was like what?
Yep.
Where's Jameis throwing that ball? Why is he throwing it to... Oh, wait, no, there's somebody running.
Somebody's there with no one on him. Did they just forget about him?
Yeah.
I don't know. But, But Deshaun Jackson with another 12 points. He's not super productive, but he is consistent with, 10 points. And he does have the high upside for a burner.
Word.
Then we got that man Tyrod, who I think is going to continuously get better and better throughout the year.
Wasn't terrible. I mean, 20 of 33, 268, and a touchdown. So that's good. You do like to see that. That's awesome to see from
6
Tyrod.
carries for 53 yards.
Yep.
That's what he needs to do more, is run it more. He needs to stop trying to be a pocket.
They gotta let him
passer.
play his game. That's the problem. So
Shady.
Everybody's happy to see Shady come back to life. So 23 for 91 and 2 touchdowns. So good for that. He did have a fumble, but that is what it is.
Also had 5 catches.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, 5 catches and 31 yards. He is involved in the passing game very much so.
Deontay Thompson.
Could be something. In deeper leagues, maybe. See what it is next week.
Yeah.
One of those wait and sees.
Next week, I'd definitely versus Oakland.
Because Jordan Matthews is finally back and trying to get healthy and get rolling.
I think next week Jordan Matthews has a bigger game than any of the other receivers. It will be.
Hopefully it's a shootout. Oakland can win.
Oakland's defense is not good enough to shut them out.
A running quarterback team.
Your offense, though, is good enough to just obliterate their defense, even no matter how good it is.
And after this confident win, yeah, that's good for them. So, and if you need a kicker, Hauschka.
Yeah, Hauschka's good because they do get to the red zone and the other side of the field a lot, but they cannot produce. Charles Clay is out, so they don't have that go-to red zone threat.
No. You can either go Logan Thomas or you can go Nick O'Leary if you need somebody. You can throw a toss-up between them.
And wasn't Logan Thomas a quarterback?
I don't even remember. Well, I'll do some research. We'll find out. But we'll go to this next game.
There might be another Logan Thomas who the Cardinals had as a quarterback.
Tell me something about some
Tennessee Titans. Ooh, this game was snore fest. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to zoom through this. Marcus Mariota, terrible game, 8.9 points. DeMarco Murray was the only bright spot other than Delaney in the PPR sense. DeMarco had 10.6 points after they said he's most likely not going to play. I don't know. Yeah, former QB. Yup. He played for the Cardinals. I know my football. Delaney Walker had 11.3. Also, get a kicker named Ryan Suckup. He does win people games in fantasy. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy. Don't ever get a Cleveland Browns quarterback. I don't care who it is.
They're all trash.
Another person who's doing pretty decent, who's starting to go up into the fantasy levels recently, Isaiah Crowell. He's had 2 weeks getting 10 points in PPR, but Duke Johnson's still the one you want to own with 13.1 points. Kenny Britt, when I think about him, it rhymes with his last name. Kenny Britt is terrible. No work ethic, nothing like that.
Nope. David Njoku, if you're desperate, maybe. I mean, he had 2 for 58,
He's
so
got
he's getting
potential.
yards. He does. He still gets yards, and that's good for a tight end to see him getting yards. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. This one. Whoo-wee!
Doozies. Let's start with the Panthers. Pathetic. It's a pathetic performance of all offensive fronts here. We're going with the Bears and Panthers. Cam Newton had 7 fantasy points, 211, 2 interceptions, 50 rush yards, and a fumble. Terrible performance by the offense. Terrible performance by their defense, too. I mean, it's just... I shouldn't say by their defense. Their defense wasn't super bad, but... Man.
It wasn't
good.
It wasn't good either.
Tough.
No, it wasn't. They held Tariq Cohen back. They held Jordan Howard back, so that was good for the defense for Carolina. But Cam Newton basically let them lose this game.
Exactly.
If you're going to look at it anyway, I mean, it was turnovers on turnovers that won.
The Bears'
2 defensive
defense looked like the Vikings' defense out there.
Now,
or it looked like the friggin'
Yep.
Now, if you have Christian McCaffrey, don't be upset.
You still got 7 receptions.
Yeah, don't be upset that you saw this because, I mean, it does start with the quarterback. So.
And he still had 11.5 points.
Yeah, so don't be too upset.
For him.
It's a disaster anyway. And Chicago will bounce back, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't fear them, to be honest.
I wouldn't fear Chicago, but, I mean, they have shown flashes. I mean, they were able to pull off a win against the Steelers, which was a team that's now rolling. So, I mean, they have potential. They just got to figure out where to go.
I love this next game, man. Let's go. The New Orleans Saints and the Packers.
Tell me something about it then. You see that?
Baby. Drew Brees looked good. He started off not looking so great. 2 picks in the first quarter. I was like, uh-oh.
And the Saints get the Bears next week, everybody, so we can see something happen. So.
I'm stoked
especially
about
for the
that,
Saints players.
because Mark Ingram is showing his own team why you should stop getting other running backs. Other than this other one on the team who's also a baller.
Kamara's good.
But Mark Ingram had 21 points, another 20-point game. And get rid of Adrian Peterson. That's 2 in a row, baby. 20 or 30 and then 20. Also a bright spot, Ted Ginn, who I think I don't think he'll consistently get 21 points, but I think he'll get you consistent 10 points. I know people are worried about. I was about to say Kobe Fleener. Ain't nobody worried about Kobe Fleener. Willie Snead. They're worried about that, but I don't think that's going to impact much.
Ted Ginn's been getting the love. Brandon Coleman's actually been getting some love out there. So
Michael Thomas did good. He had 15.2 points. He didn't have a terrible game. He had a good game.
He gets 82 yards usually, or he either gets that or a touchdown. So usually he tries to get in the 15 to 20 range. So it's good.
He's consistent. He's very consistent. I like that.
Now with the Packers, we got a little bit of time
one bright spot on that team. But first, Brett Hundley started off looking pretty nice. I thought he was going to go off, and then something happened to where he threw like 5 yards in the next half.
Yeah, it fell apart.
It was terrible.
But another week to go. We got a bye week and then a week after that to figure it out. So
I do feel bad for everyone that owns the receivers or even Ty Montgomery. There is one very bright spot. And this guy, the 3 times he started, has gotten like 15 fantasy points plus. Aaron Jones. That kid is good, and the way he runs is good. He doesn't go down easily. He can catch. He's pretty good.
Stat line.
131 rushing yards, a touchdown on, 17 carries. What is that? 7.7 yards per carry.
7.7.
7.7. Kid's a baller.
Yep.
I have him in one league. I traded him in another because I didn't really know. I did get Alshon Jeffrey, but it's not working in my favor yet. But I have faith.
And if you have the Saints, you actually start 2 running backs to go back to their team.
Oh, yes.
Because they both produce, especially in PPR. Alvin Kamara had 15.2 points in PPR, so...
Kamara's a baller.
Or 15.7, excuse me. So, yeah, I mean, it was...
You need to get rid of that nose piercing, though. I don't like it at all for some reason. When I see dudes with that, no offense.
You're finding the audience.
Oh gosh.
Baltimore, Minnesota. Corey, I'll let you have another one.
I'm sorry, I love you.
Here, I'll take my team and you take yours.
Cool.
So I'll start with mine. Mine's a crappy one. And we'll just move on from there. Joe Flacco is 186 yards and a last-second touchdown. You're not going to start him. If you're desperate for a quarterback, you need Joe Flacco. Go for a trade.
Literally, go for a trade.
Buck Allen, 20 rush yards. Pitiful performance rushing, but 8 receptions for 29 yards, so he saved you in PPR format with the receptions. Otherwise, you would have had 4 fantasy points, 4.9. Yeah. So, Alex Collins
looked terrible.
Yep, looked
His
terrible.
First terrible game.
Again, take a grain of salt. This is a Vikings defense, a top 5 defense, top 3 defense
second best
in the NFL.
Against the run.
So, I mean, I'm not so upset about that.
Yeah.
I expected them to come out and lose, and here they are losing. So Mike Wallace took a pretty good hit here, so we'll see how that goes. But if you started him, you weren't really happy with what happened out of it. But otherwise,
very unnecessary hits.
Right. The only person you're starting on this team is Justin Tucker.
And I'd say Buck Allen in PPR.
And then Buck Allen in PPR.
If you're sure. If you need a flex play on a bye week, or if the matchup's good.
Otherwise, you won't know any of these. Chris Moore, Michael Campanaro, Griff Whalen, and Mike Wallace. You might know Griff Whalen from playing with Peyton Manning way back in the day, over in New England, but that's the only one you know. And that's sadly he's the most relevant receiver that you have.
A positive, though, Jeremy Macklin's practicing, so we'll see.
A negative, it won't matter.
Yep.
On you, Corey.
Oh, guess what? Latavius Murray, boy. Had his coming out game finally. He looked phenomenal. He was hitting the holes. He was running fast. He looked like his ankle was not hurting him whatsoever. He did have a really good yards per carry, 6.3. He had 18 carries, 113 yards, and a touchdown. It was a 31-yard touchdown run. He hit the hole, and then he made a nice juke on Tony Jefferson. He torched. Oh yeah, dude, that was nice too. He was hitting holes. He was finding the holes. He wasn't just getting the Red Sea opening up. He was hitting his holes in a game where Jarrett McKinnon didn't really do much. And I'm fine with that because I was playing against him, so that was cool.
Thielen hit his base. That's good.
Thielen did, yeah. He 541 did not look too great, but nobody really did anything.
Yeah, the reception game wasn't that great.
We were already winning, and it was a field goal friggin'
bonanza.
Speaking of field goal frenzy, you got Kai Forbath with 22 fantasy points, 6 field goals. That was the little fun fact. This was an NFL record, tied it for the most field goals in a game, and it tied the record of the Arizona Cardinals and San Francisco 49ers that happened like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, the record was set by them.
It's like, wow, that was a very long record. It was pretty crazy. It was awesome. Not really. It was super boring. I hated it. I was like, come on, just change it. Ooh, this game. Ooh, I'm so very sorry, Cardinals. So sorry.
Yeah.
Scott, tell us about this game.
This was tough. So, 2 weeks ago, since now it's past the week, I had Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. He goes down, so I had to pick up a quarterback. So I decided, hey, Carson Palmer, you'd be good. And then he breaks his arm. So that didn't help. So Carson Palmer's stats, 10 for 18, 122 yards, and 1 interception. Also, 1 broken arm. Yeah, that happened. Your leading rusher is Adrian Peterson with 11 attempts for 21 yards.
Looking like Adrian Peterson.
Well, they gave up on the running because they needed to try to throw it because Drew Stanton was out
33-0. Ugh.
So that was pretty bad. So yeah, that happened. Receiving wise, run was just not there. Couldn't do it with Drew Stanton.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. Don't start Larry. 100% real. Don't start. Only one on that team that you start is Adrian Peterson. As much as I don't want to say that because of this terrible performance and his 1 yard per carry. No, I'm just kidding. Is almost 2 yards. It was under 2 yards per carry. But he's the only one I would start because Larry historically is not good fantasy-wise with Drew Stanton at the helm. And that's not Larry's fault. That's because Drew Stanton just doesn't know how to throw to the best receiver on that team. So just stash him on the bench. Don't get rid of him yet because you never know what could happen. Stanton could just get benched and they throw in Blaine Gabbert, who I think will do actually pretty decent because he knows how to find Larry. And it's, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Don't worry about any other receiver on the team. Drop them all.
Let's talk Rams now.
Yeah, you talk about them since you got this man.
Cool. Well, I don't have Jared Goff, so I don't have this man. But
he's a man, bro. He's a boy. The other one's a man.
He's becoming a man slowly. So
saw that blooper.
He Jared Goff, 22 of 37, 235, 1 passing touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown in this game, so that's good. 2 for 13, a quick score there. So if you need someone that's a bye week fill-in, not this week, but because he's on bye, but possibly in the future weeks, Jared Goff can be someone for you. We'll see how he progresses through the season, but his progression has made it easier for Todd Gurley to ball out. This is the man he's speaking of that I have. 106 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 8 targets, 4 receptions for 48 yards on top of that, 25.4 fantasy points. If you have him, do not sell him. He's going to keep balling. They keep talking about his tough schedule, and he keeps performing over the tough schedule. So, to all these other people who think they're great analysts,
you're the number one option.
Yeah, you guys are so wrong. You guys are wrong.
On an actually pretty decent
eat crow, you guys are wrong.
Yeah, you're dumb as heck.
Cooper Kupp got back involved. 10 targets, 4 receptions, 51 yards, 1 touchdown. So he's back in the game. He's back involved. It's Corey's favorite player here.
Greg Zuerlein, baby. He's always getting me W's, baby.
kickers are people too, and this holds true. There's still 17 points for.
Very true.
I'm going with no kicker in this week because I'm not dropping him. He is freaking gold, bro.
You can drop somebody for another kicker.
Yeah, I know. I dropped Martavis Bryant. I just wanted to throw you guys off.
Sammy Watkins, for anybody who does have Sammy, gosh, please forget about him. 3 for 42.
One thing though, he missed a wide open Sammy Watkins in the end zone.
He did. I saw that.
Oh, we were watching that.
Yep.
I forgot.
Yep.
I was like, what, dude? How do you miss Sammy Watkins? Oh my gosh.
But I do like how they have the running situation. They have so many people for the Rams that they use.
Yep.
They use this new
Tavon
guy-
Austin, Malcolm Brown, Jared Goff,
Yeah.
Robert Woods, Sommer. A lot of people.
Tavon Austin.
Yep. A lot of people.
Tavon's
Like-
good running it.
Like you can.
He does.
Oh my gosh.
He looks
that
good
guy's
out of the
nasty.
backfield. They actually line him up out there, and it's solid.
I just love how like it feels like it's a college game with that team because they use so many other people.
There's
There's
only
life.
have a
There's,
line.
there's life
Yeah.
on the offense.
Their
and it's
offensive
great.
line. Every team, like the Vikings this year,
I
the
don't
reason
see
why
what
they're
you-
doing good on offense is because last year they didn't have an offensive line. We were
Right.
getting sacked like every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
When you have an offensive line, your offense can produce.
Yep.
You can
that's
run
true.
it. You can get the time
fun.
to have
And
vision.
it's fun to watch.
Right?
Let's talk about the offensive line.
Well, let's talk about a surprise. Actually, he's actually good in a sense, but he's not clutch.
No, not clutch, but he's playing good football right now. And
Josh
the best of his time. He has 4 total touchdowns.
Dude's been balling out the last few weeks.
Yeah.
The Jets are 3-4. Everyone would thought they would have been 0-7.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy to say they're 3-4. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Because they should have been freaking 4-3, but for some
Yeah.
reason that defense let Matt Moore lead a charge.
They could have beat the
I mean, Matt Moore's-
Patriots too if they
They
touched
should've.
on.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's not a catch, and if anything, he's
He
out
lost
of
it
the one.
for a second, but regained control before he
Before he even touched the
and
ground.
across the pylon. But whatever.
It's Patriots.
So, in my mind, since we're talking about the Jets, I think Powell's a person to own again. I think he's kind of, since he's coming back from the injury, he already kind of got worked in there. So 9 carries, 43 yards, did well. Matt Forte didn't run too bad, 7 for 41. So they'll be split between those two. But if they give Powell full workload,
Dude, he gets like 20 fantasy points when he gets like a full workload,
Yep.
and he's the only one.
yeah, he makes moves. I mean, he got 2 for 40, 2 receptions for 40 yards. So
Yeah,
that's good.
and he had 1
31
less
yards.
yard than Matt Forte on receptions
Yep.
and 3 less receptions.
Yep,
Which shows, imagine if he would have got those 3 receptions.
exactly what kind of damage you can do. So you can start him on bye weeks. He's gonna be someone using the bye week filler. You can start Forte too. I mean, you might have to, if you're really desperate. That's just how it's gonna be. Such as life. But anybody in the receiving that stands out. I mean, Robbie Anderson got the touchdown. Severian Jenkins. Start him.
Yeah, definitely start him. He's literally the red zone threat.
He is.
He
Gets no
catches-
yards, but he gets touchdowns.
Oh, he does.
It's
Hey.
4 straight weeks with touchdowns.
All he does is catch touchdowns, baby.
Yeah, that's all he does.
do, really. Get more points.
What?
Who's got Miami players?
I do.
Tell
You
me
just
about
gave me him.
Tell me about the Miami. I
I
knew
just
one of you
traded
guys
for
traded
him.
someone.
I gave.
Also,
So
he
we had
was
a pretty good trade. He gave me Emmanuel Sanders and Jarvis Landry. I gave him Carson Wentz and Devontae Parker. The reason why I gave up Carson Wentz before y'all are tripping on me, I have Kirk Cousins, who produces the exact same.
Right.
He had like 4 less points yesterday.
Which isn't bad. At all.
No.
36 point brah. But
They made it a
anyway.
game which was fun.
Mm-hmm.
2 good quarterbacks playing, and they made it a game.
I love it. And
But we'll get to that.
one thing though, Kenny Stills had himself a game. He balled out. He looks good. 6 catches, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is a waiver wire.
Must.
Definitely get him. But I don't think the production stays the same with Devontae Parker possibly coming back. And Jarvis
You got-
Landry's always going
He
to get
got
that.
one more week probably because they were eased Parker in from the
Yeah,
injury,
he,
and
was-
then
he was limited today,
Yeah.
which isn't a great
They
sign.
don't have a bye week.
Exactly.
They had
So
it the
they're
first
gonna have
week,
to
so they have to
Give
really
him some-
very precautionary.
Matt Moore was a lot
He
more
looked
competent.
good. He looked-
188, 2 touchdowns and a pick, but he looked way more competent.
He was
than Jay
slinging it.
Cutler.
He wasn't looking like he didn't care.
Right.
He had that mindset of
Yep.
I'm gonna, and he brought him back.
Yep.
But the best part about this is this guy who keeps consistently getting 20-point games in PPR, Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry looked good, like always. They compare him to Odell because they're really good friends.
Together.
Yes.
Yep.
And he does play phenomenal, and he can catch anything. 11 targets again, 7 catches, 93 yards, and his third game in a row with a touchdown. I see that happening again. It may not be the same volume because the Ravens are actually really good, so it might be more targets and maybe a touchdown, but...
To the Ajayi owners, you're happy last week, but you're not happy this week. 23 for 51. 2.2 yards a carry.
He is just...
There's no consistency. But if the passing game can be there, the running game can be there. So, don't let him go yet. You saw the potential last week with 100-plus rushing yards. It's there. It's available.
Man, I think Matt Moore should have been the starter from the start.
They should have just started him.
Even their fans think that.
Yep,
they always were cheering from the beginning.
And now they even brought in some tail dude or something. I don't know.
No, Jay Cutler hasn't been good ever.
Yeah, a long time.
He was good at times when he played for Denver and then first got traded to the
6 teams
to
left.
the freaking Bears.
Let's do some rapid fire with the important people. Dak Prescott, 234. 3 passing touchdowns, 26 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown. 30 fantasy points, and hurt me this week.
Yeah, made me lose in standard, but I'm fine with that.
Bigger name, Zeke Elliott, 147, 2 rushing touchdowns.
He's God, I didn't
play. One reception for 72 yards. 1.
Yeah, dude, and I swear to God he stepped out, but he saved himself by accidentally tripping.
Dude, he must take ballet.
Yeah,
he tripped over his own foot.
And he floated it.
And floated back.
I was like,
it was
what
incredible.
are you doing, bro?
I don't like that he hits people, women especially, but his talent is unquestionable.
Exactly. So, I hate him for being great and a piece of work who punches women, but
Yep, it is.
Dez.
But we're not here for politics, we're here for sports. So
that trade's working for both of us. I like it.
Des Bryant, you like the 10 targets, you like the 7 receptions, you like the 63 yards, you like the touchdown. It was a thing of beauty.
That catch was nice, dude. He toe tapped like a little ballerina, had his hands up with the catch like,
Des still has his playmaking abilities, so that's excellent. Jason Witten, you're happy about if you started to need him for 54.
That catch was nice.
Jason Witten's always one of
the old man, bro.
Mr. Reliable, though.
Yep. Word on the street, though, Dan Bailey's going to be out for a few weeks.
Yep.
They just signed, he was a ex-Cincinnati Bengals kicker. No. What?
Oh, I'm looking at things.
Not Nugent.
Oh, Mike Nugent.
He's got a career 85% field goal percentage.
Yep.
Pick him up if you need a kicker.
Yep, we need one. Carlos Hyde, the whole Matt Breida time is over. Everybody can stop worrying about that.
He looked
68 yards.
Breida did, sorry, y'all.
There we go. I was like, Carlos Hyde did not look
You're like, I did
not.
Yeah. He looked good.
68 yards, so that was solid for, standard scoring plus 20 receiving yards, so 8.8 standard, and then whatever it was, PPR was at 12.8. So, yeah, I wouldn't be mad about that. And so everybody was worried, everybody that sold on him, move on. You guys keep him. Don't worry about it. Don't
sell him. That'd be dumb. Just because he's had 1 or 2 bad games because of a benching.
And a hip injury was more a part of it than they let on.
Exactly.
Stupid. So, all right.
This game.
Let's talk about why Scott lost. Russell Wilson, 334 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Should have been 5. Straight out of the Jimmy Graham
dropping passes. Yeah.
That would have been crazy, dude.
So, crazy.
This is pretty much the only game I really needed, like, the Giants to just ball the hell out, but they didn't.
Yeah. Well, here's who else didn't ball out. Thomas Rawls, Eddie Lacy, J.D. McKissick, all tail running backs, start none of them.
Never.
0. Start none of them.
Chris Carson was the only one that was worth a start, and where's he at? On the IR, unfortunately.
But for all y'all that were patient on Doug Baldwin, paid off. 12 targets, 9 receptions, 92 yards, and a receiving touchdown.
That's like 22 fantasy points.
24.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know how you
Paul Richardson, don't be sold on him. He's that make or break player where he gets 2
He's your Deshaun
targets.
Jackson deep threat.
Exactly. More like a Travis Benjamin.
Yeah, probably more.
Gets the same amount of targets. No, I'm just kidding. Jimmy Graham
saved the day.
Saved the day with that last one where he did a little bit of a PI, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah. He's getting looks.
Exactly. So. And he should consistently. I know he dropped 2. I feel like he was just kind of he's getting back into the swing of things again because he was struggling at first, and now he's getting back to his elite type of level.
New York Giants, y'all. Eli Manning, doo-doo, never started him. Orleans Darkwa, 35 rush yards. He didn't do that.
That wasn't his fault though. They kept giving Wayne Gallman the ball.
They
I'm like, yo,
they didn't let him get rolling. That's
like,
true.
dude, Orleans Darkwa the last 2 weeks.
He's been the guy.
We were going to call the offense up and
Pipe down there, Pete Carroll in the background.
Petey.
So yeah, 9 for 35 for Orleans Darkwa, a little under 4 yards per attempt. Wayne Gallman wasn't any better, so they'll probably go back to Darkwa if the offense is producing. So. Which would be solid.
That's my happy dance for the next person that we're going to talk about.
Yes, the Evan Ingram, another part of that trade that worked out. 12 targets, 6 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown. So 18 fantasy points PPR. He's the best receiver on that team right now.
He's really good, dude. He is not a tight end.
He shouldn't be.
And he's
Jordan a Reed. Shark.
He's basically Jordan Reed, the guy that they put in the tight end spot and go and catch passes.
He's the next Shannon Sharp, bro.
So.
The Bola.
Talk about the crap Broncos. Scott, talk about your favorite team ever.
Still to this day, Trevor Siemian is trash.
Yep, he is.
25 for 35, 207 though, with 1 interception. Got sacked more.
It's because Joey Bosa's the truth. God, that kid is good.
That guy is.
He held out for a reason and asked for more money. And
I hated him for it, but then once he started playing, I'm like, all right.
Right. You're trying to underpay me, like, no.
He's like, I know my talent level, bro. Give me the money. I'll show you.
So all you Denver fans, you guys aren't the greatest.
Don't give up on C.J. Anderson.
Yep.
He's still at 7.1 points.
Exactly.
4.4 yards per carry.
He was the only one that looked like he could run.
Competent in running, yeah.
Like, and with especially with Emmanuel Sanders coming back, dude. That's their whole offense. Him and Demaryius Thomas. Because when it's just one of them, they don't produce. But when they're both there,
Demaryius Thomas 2 receptions, 9 yards. So there you go.
It wasn't really his fault because Siemian. I don't know. Siemian doesn't look healthy. They have a Monday night game, so he's got an extra day to heal, and I think that'll do good.
So let's go to the Chargers and go Chargers, go.
No, one thing that happened that was funny. But we'll get to that. Phillip Rivers looked competent in the touchdown area, but he's still not getting the yards for some reason.
He's more of a game manager right now.
I know, it's weird.
15 and 26. Yeah, 183. And it's because they didn't really have it. They were winning, so they ran it out. They just did what they had to do.
Denver didn't score a single point, so they're just like, yeah, we're not going to do anything.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon, you're a little depressed about 18 for 38.
4 carries for 0 yards on the 1 yard. Oh, my God.
Yeah. But you get 1 target or 1 reception for 6. That's terrible for Melvin Gordon. Hunter Henry, you're still happy about 4 for 73. 18 yards per catch this game. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That dude makes it downfield. He's another dual threat tight end, blocking and going for runs.
Yeah. And now that they got Gates his touchdown, they're just
Antonio Gates had the record. Hunter Henry's coming for that record.
His snaps keep going up.
Yep.
Up and
Hunter
up.
Henry's coming for Gates' record. He just got.
He's like, let me get your record, boy.
He's like, no, you're done. I'm coming for
He's like, I'm the youth.
So Travis Benjamin had a 1 bomb touchdown for 42 yards. Do not look into that ever.
Keenan Allen's a start every week, I think.
Yeah,
after
he
this
still
week.
is. They'll work the way. He still has 7 targets. He led the team in targets.
You could figure he wouldn't score much against Denver. Denver's one of the best defenses when it comes to fantasy, to stopping receivers. PPR, not so much, because receivers still do get a bunch of catches. They're just good, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, and if you have Mike Williams come on a couple more weeks, we'll see what happens. Because there's got to be someone else catching passes there, and right now Tyrell Williams is not being that guy, so it's going to have to be Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is a baller, too, and he'll show it, especially when he's starting to get healthier and healthier.
Yep.
And Phil Rivers gets more of a repertoire with him. It's going to be nice.
Word.
This next game, it was pretty stressful because it almost made me lose. Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll take the crap team.
Tell me about it.
Cincinnati. Ugh. Andy Dalton, 10.4 points. Started off looking good.
He did.
Started off looking like he was going to have himself a game.
Mm-hmm.
Then he just went 10.4 points, man. He had 140 yards passing. 17 for 30. That's 4.7 yards per attempt. Or per completion.
They kind of
went per attempt.
They kind of went back to like the first couple games they had during the season, where they weren't getting all these good players into the offense. Like AJ Green. AJ Green got peppered in the beginning, and then just disappeared.
And then Joe Mixon looked phenomenal. 7 carries, 49 yards. Why not give him the ball more? Why are you putting Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard in there when your young buck can run?
Average 6.9 yards a carry.
Dude, looked good, dude. And nobody runs that good against Pittsburgh except Dalvin Cook. Did really good against
Dalvin Cook did very well.
You guys should have won that game.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
otherwise,
those calls and us just falling apart kind of screwed us. It wasn't. But
so Big Ben showed some signs of life.
Yep, Big Ben. At home though, so don't get too excited.
Yeah, 224, 2 touchdowns.
That and Le'Veon, bro.
Yep.
He caught that and ran.
But Juju Smith-Schuster's becoming a thing. His receptions are low and his targets are low. But I think because of the Martavis Bryant situation and him maybe moving on possibly, that Juju Smith-Schuster will be that number 2.
Yeah.
So
I still think
Bryant's
better, but.
Bryant's better deep threat, but his mental isn't there. So
they're not. It's a chemistry thing. Team chemistry is one of the biggest things, and when your receiver doesn't have that love for his quarterback, like they don't like each other. You can tell.
Or for the team.
No, he said he wants to play for Pittsburgh. He said he'd rather be at Pittsburgh than anywhere. But if they don't use him, he wants to be happy.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown with another pretty good game, 16.5 points, 4 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown. He's a baller.
He is.
Straight up.
Chris Boswell helped carry the team with 17 points.
Ayo, Chris Boswell. Get them kickers, boy.
Kickers were running the show this last week. Yeah, underestimating the kickers this last
really
week.
It's unfortunate. This game saved me with Matt Ryan pooping the bed.
I almost saved me if Freeman had done a little less than 12 points.
If he would have had 4 less points, I
would have won. But
it's all those catches, dude. There were like 4 catches for 1 yard. It seemed like
it was.
I had no interest in this game.
Yeah, watching it, I was like, and then the fog started coming in.
No, it was from the fireworks.
I didn't have a problem with the game. I had a problem with the fancy in the game.
The one I had the problem with was after the great catch by
Matt Ryan, 17 points. Devontae Freeman, 12 points. Tevin Coleman didn't have a good game, but that's because they didn't use him. But Julio Jones, moss. He literally did the definition of a mossing. He straight grabbed it out of his hands. He's like, I need my first touchdown, boy.
He ripped it away
He's
from
like, give me that. Malcolm Butler, Pro Bowl corner. He said, I'm better.
You were happy that you guys waited on him, and he's finally healthy over the hip thing, so.
I wanted somebody to trade him.
Snoop came in and did some work, 6 for 65, so maybe they'll actually get other people involved. Or some offense in general, maybe.
Offense in general.
Yeah, it needs to happen. So Tevin Coleman.
See what happens when Kyle Shanahan leaves teams?
Yeah.
We said it at the beginning of the year, y'all.
They started off all right, but then.
Hey, I knew that was a matter of time. Just kidding.
Tom Brady doing his thing, 249, 2 touchdowns. So on 21-29, just consistent. Didn't have to do anything special because they were up this whole game. So just kind of ding done and check down. Deion Lewis is the running back to own now. Mike Gillislee's moving to the bench. 13 for 76, averaging 5 yards a carry. So even Rex Burkhead did better, 6 for 31. So 8 for 31 for Gillislee.
James White is the PPR one you want.
He is 5 for 28 and a touchdown in the reception. So great for him. Brandon Cooks also 4 for 65 in the touch. You like to see that. If you're a Cooks owner and you got him in the second round, you like to see him be able to produce. I mean, he had 16.5 fantasy points. Deion Lewis had 9, and James White had 15, and close to a half fantasy points over.
He looks good. You gotta scoop up Steven Gostkowski with 11 points, man.
Yep. Chris Hogan also 4 for 71, so again still involved.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Chris Hogan on the bench.
No, his upside is there, and he's getting the target. He's second leading target leader out there, so
Yeah, next to Gronk, and that's obvious. Gronk is a baller.
Yeah, Gronk is a must start as long as he's healthy. You throw him in there, you don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm. Straight up, though.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we got the last game of the week where you got 2 stud quarterbacks. One that's a little bit more studly. Gosh, I'll
talk about your cousin, man. Talk about your cousin.
Cousins, boy.
Talk about your cousin.
My cousin is doing pretty fresh. 24 points in this league.
Yeah, in scoring.
Which is pretty good, actually, especially
in PPR / standard scoring for quarterbacks.
Yes.
So.
Especially with a receiver dropping 2 catches and then also a couple more receivers dropping catches.
Yep.
But
still went 30 for 40.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns and 1 pick.
18 rushing yards. He's starting to run more, which is good. He's not the most athletic, but he can get the first down.
He actually is a pretty good runner, though.
He is.
When you watch him, he's a pretty good runner. So.
It's nice. I'm like, okay, run for that first. Get that touchdown. Chris Thompson, consistent. Especially PPR. If you don't have him in PPR, he's not that consistent.
No.
Especially since he gets like...
sometimes he was the lead rusher, being that Rob Kelly was hurt, was 7 for 38 this week. So this was good showing for him as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm. He looked good rushing. It was weird.
This week he looked good rushing.
Being a little man out there. And then if you have Jordan Reed, you're happy. He finally had a breakout game.
Yep.
For real. I thought it was like he got hurt on one play. I was like, oh man, here we go again.
864 and 2 touchdowns.
Comes out, scores 2 touchdowns. I'm like, dang. I'm wrong about that.
Well, a lot of analysts were too. So that's
I dropped him, but I picked up Evan Ingram, so that's cool.
But the rest of the receivers out there are terrible.
Except
Josh Dawson might be coming into his own to try to get him more work. He did go 3 for 5 and 39 yards, so maybe he starts coming into his own here. We'll see if the touchdowns go up. And they play who this upcoming Dallas, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they play Dallas at home, so
which will be a good game. I think it's gonna be a shootout. So I feel like if you got Chris Thompson and Kirk Cousins and Jordan Reed, those are 3 must starts. I don't care who else you have, you start them.
Right.
Because Dallas is not gonna get shut out.
No.
It's Dallas. They got Zeke. They got Dez. They got Dak. I hate to say it, I don't like them at all.
But they have weapons.
They got weapons.
Wentz wagon, and we're all on the Wentz wagon. So 268, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. But you're happy with the production because 31.1 fantasy points. Mm-hmm. So you'll take that because he also had 8 carries for 63 yards. He was the leading rusher for that team. And he was going down and trying to take shots. He's looking at RG3. I'm like, bro, you need to go down. Like, you need to stop trying to do this.
Yeah,
but he did, and he went down at the right time, and he made plays. 6 points from just rushing.
He's strong, dude. He's got a cannon.
He even landed on his arm, came back, and started throwing dimes. Like, what?
Yeah, he threw a
nice... And that evasive maneuver he had where he
dude.
Dumped out of that.
I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He's going to get sacked, and then he's gone. I'm like, what?
Dude, that was nuts.
He gave me a nice parting gift for the trade.
Incredible. If you have Blount,
here's 40 points for you.
All the running backs, though, were terrible. Like, all of them combined only added up to Carson Wentz's rushing.
Blount had one good run at the end there, and it looked nice, but he had 29 yards. 21 of them were on one play. That's terrible.
That was ridiculous.
That's terrible.
Zach Ertz gets his usual 5.89 and a touchdown, so I mean he's doing his nasty work out there.
Best tight end in the game right now.
He might be. It might be 19.9.
Like we said in the first podcast, man.
Nelson Aguilar 4 for 45 and a touchdown. He's still involved in the offense when you're throwing like that.
I'd start him and Jeffrey up. I know Jeffrey hasn't had the greatest.
He'll get there.
He'll have like 12 points, 20 points. He had like 23 actually. He gets the targets, I feel like, especially this week against San Fran. Des Bryant torched him. He's a big receiver. They can't handle big receivers. Alshon's a big receiver. Alshon's going to go off this week.
Yeah.
I don't know which one of you is playing against me with him in there. but watch out.
I'm not worried.
I'm just kidding.
It's probably me, but I'll take that challenge.
Nah,
See
it's
what's up.
Pac-12. It's you.
Wait, it's me.
It's you. It's you.
Sorry.
That's crazy. He's got Wentz. Go to Alshon. If it only goes to Alshon, you go
ahead. Doesn't even throw it to Ertz. That's not happening.
No,
Ertz is his favorite target.
Right, but Jake Elliott, another kicker, 12 points, who didn't give me the win though. He missed the last field goal of the game, and that would have won the game, my fantasy game for me. Can't believe it.
He lost because he got them negative
last possession.
Oh, it's tough to watch.
But that is what it is. It's
I
fantasy.
thought that was money. I was like, let's go. Because I wanted you to win.
That will help me. No, so we'll get back to you guys again. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get back to you guys for the injury updates. So, but thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast. We love y'all.
We love you.
And we are. Hold on a second.
Guess what?
We're not out yet.
We're out.